Good morning from Tucson. Luca and Harley. Beautiful Sunday. It's starting to get a little chilly. I think it's about 62 degrees, so I had to bundle up. That's probably a joke to all my friends in Colorado and Michigan, wherever. And gonna get loud, I guess. Folks in Fort Collins, can you see the A right there? There's an A in Tucson as well. And this is our little fountain spot. Luca he gets wet. We all get refreshed. You know, it's such a pretty area, downtown Tucson. And now that it's not a million degrees, I was getting a little bitter this summer because I'd have to take and do this walk before like 7 o'clock, and whatnot. And Luca loves the grass. There's actual grass right here, so you can see him. Oh boy, he loves grass. He hates to wear anything on his body though, and so you can see. Anyway, I'm getting a little. I realize I'm getting a little off track. It's a new month, and November is gonna be negotiation November, because for me, what really made me have a lot more joy was learning about Chris Voss and his book. It's called Never Split the Difference, but the idea is called tactical empathy. And there's actually a movie that he just did with his son. It's on Amazon. I think you have to buy it. But just think about the words tactical empathy equals negotiation, and Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. It's not a very long book, but excellent. And go look at what folks think of him, what they think of his system, because what we're doing, I think the revelation in this book, it kind of sent me into other people he talks about in his book and read their book, is getting to a no instead of a yes in general. That'd be tip one. If you're listening to this, one thing I always forget too is there's 3 different kinds of folks in the world, and trying to categorize us: the analyst, the empath, and that's one thing I literally am going to listen to pick up on again, because that's where I think if we use just a handful of tools in our daily lives from this book, it literally just makes everything easier. It's pragmatic. I'm not trying to say I have it figured out or he has it figured out, but what I will say is try it and tell me what you think, and just makes you feel like you can, first of all, focus on yourself, calm down, get yourself in the right frame of mind is step one also in what he teaches. So that's always good. But getting to that usually gets you to the best outcome, and also just makes things fun. It takes and makes me a funner human being. Like, it makes me feel more myself to just relax and joke with folks, and hey, I have to ask this person for a discount, but I can joke about it, we can, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things in our daily lives too that are just not high up on my list. I gotta call my mortgage company, or I gotta call my, I've had nothing but paperwork hiccups and car registration stuff, right? And so, getting the best outcome at the DMV or someplace like that, right, can really save you like exponential time and money, let alone just hassle and effort, right? So, check out Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. That's going to be November 1st. Step one is get the book. I have a couple copies and whatnot. But I like the Audible. I'm dyslexic, so one of the things that I just give myself power to understand is picking up a paper book and sitting there is pretty difficult for me. The numbers get jumped around, the letters get jumped around, and my brain starts to wander. So maybe it's ADD and dyslexic. I tell you, I'm very dyslexic, and in one of my books, that's kind of a superpower for folks. So it's how I made it through without doing any homework, and now I have to do my homework as an adult. Anyway, I digress. But it's kind of a divisive world we live in too, right? So I'm going to step back away from the politics or my opinions on things, and kind of just switch it to like Negotiation November, and Audible, go get the book, and if you really just don't want to engage and read and it's not your thing, maybe you listen to podcasts. So the least amount that I encourage you guys to do is to go listen to an hour of Chris Voss in podcasts. It might even be 2 podcasts, because half-hour interviews. Listen to 2 half-hour interviews. I'd be surprised if you didn't want to listen to more after that, to be honest with you. There was times in my life that I wasn't feeling very good for whatever reason, and I would just listen to Chris Voss get interviewed, because he uses these things. There's like the late night DJ voice, and it's the beginning part of the book. They're talking about how science and education was always focusing on the data, and nobody was focusing on the emotions of the human being aspect, the animalistic aspect of the fact that we're dealing with humans. Okay, humans are unique. A monkey's not going to trade their banana, half a banana, for a little bit of nuts, right? We're the only one that, are animals in the basic sense of it all, but also have all these other things. But what I will leave you guys with is what he stipulates is your emotions are first on the list and logic second of how you're going to make decisions. And so that's so pertinent, I think, right now with where we're at, because having the ability to calm down, smile, when somebody's yelling at your face or somebody's literally taking your rights away as a human being, that's tough to stay calm, cool, collected. It's tough to still even put a front up like you like that person, or, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm having a hard time doing, is just being nice, and that's just what you're gonna have to do. You gotta be nice to people that you don't like. That came right out of my mom's, mouth. That's honestly, I saw her do that. I saw my mom be nice to people she did not like. So this is Luca. Yeah, he's looking for pizza crust. Oh, you don't have any pizza crust?
No.
Okay. Have a good Sunday. Anyway, folks, Luca just made a new friend. He sniffs around and he does his public service finding the pizza crust on the ground. We're gonna go enjoy our Sunday, but let's take November and really maybe brush up on this just pure topic of negotiation, because part B of Chris's book is how it's pertinent everywhere. It's like you haven't even got 5 minutes in and he talks about how many different scenarios using some of this stuff you can do with your kids, in your own life, to just make you happier. I agree. So prove me wrong. Tell me I'm crazy. Go check out Chris Voss, Never Split the Difference. Even just look at how many accolades it has, And tell me what you think. It's going to be Negotiation November, and we're going to stay happy, healthy. I'm not going to get angry, but I am going to point out tips, tricks that I, think will just make us all happier. And right or wrong, knowing how to get the best outcome with another human being, that sounds like something like really fun and interesting to talk about, huh? And so that's what we're going to talk about. Love you all. Have a great day. And please go check out the book, Never Split the Difference by Voss. Read it, and then tell me your thoughts in the worlds that we live in today. Love you all. Downtown.